Welcome to Progragon Technolabs. Here we announce one complete session series over iOS mobile application development. My name is MitulMandanka and I worked as an iOS developer over 5 plus years. In this session, we will discuss about introduction of iOS, basic overview of a programming languages which is used to develop applications for mobile devices. And later on stages, we will discuss about prerequisites for these courses and many more. So let's begin. First we discuss about what is iOS. iOS is a mobile operating system created and developed by Apple. iOS operating system is powered many of the mobile devices such as iPhone, iPad and iTouch. In current market, iOS 13 is the latest operating system which is introduced by Apple. Before we dive into the programming languages, let's scroll through the development tools you need to build an app and get a prepared the mindset for learning iOS development. First, you need Apple system. Having an Apple is a basic requirement of iOS development. To develop an iPhone, iPad apps, you need to get a Mac with an Intel-based processor running on Mac OS version 10.14.4 or later. Second, you need an Apple ID. You will need Apple ID to download the Xcode, which is the ID, access iOS SDK's documentation, and other technical resources. Most importantly, it will allow you to deploy your app to the real iPhone and iPad devices for a testing purpose. Then after, you required knowledge about the programming languages. iOS supported two programming languages which are Objective-C and Swift. Objective-C is an old programming languages that is used to develop mobile apps, but in nowadays Swift is the latest programming languages which is used by global community developer. Swift 5.1 is the latest version of a Swift. Swift has a many advantages over Objective-C. So in this session, I will give you some advantages over Objective-C, which is a readability. Swift has a clear syntax which make it easier to read and write a code. Second one is a maintenance. Swift does not have a dependency which make it a lot easier to maintain. Swift provides a swapper platform, less code and less legacy. Swift have a speedy. Swift support a dynamic libraries and Swift is a open source. So these are the advantages. So in this whole session we will use Swift as a programming languages because it's a new programming languages and Swift contain many advantages over Objective-C. Then after you need Xcode, which is our ID. To start developing iOS apps, Xcode is the only tools you need to download. Xcode is the integrated development environment. It stands for IDE provided by the Apple. Xcode provides everything you need to kickstart your app's development. It already bundles the latest version of the iOS SDKs, short for the software development kits, built-in a source code editor, graphic user interfaces, debugging tools, and much more. Most importantly, Xcode comes with an iPhone and iPad simulators, so you can test your app without the real devices. Then after you need Ops concept. Swift support object-oriented programming approach such as a class, object, inheritance, data encapsulation, data abstraction, polymorphism, and many more. So if you know the OOPS concept, then it will be helpful to most other important things are learning approach and motivation. I hope you enjoy this video On next session, we will perform one small program with the help of Xcode and Swift 5.1. Thank you very much for being a part of this session.